Okay, so just because of sorry, this- okay, this is what we have yesterday. So because of the stuff we're doing yesterday, like at a point we verify our data and send them to the bank. We had some issues collecting the data from the bank yesterday. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, like I was saying, now receiving our files here yesterday, we had some issues. Okay, here, okay, and I told you that as if we were using jQuery, we will not have this issue. Okay, so let's see how we can, even though what we did worked, but let's see how we can make use of jQuery. Okay, so jQuery is simply a JavaScript library that you can also use to do uh, most of the things that you, you've done so far in our JavaScript. That is to say, like those documents that get element by ID, uh, like I was saying, virtually everything that we've been doing with that particular JavaScript, jQuery will help us do it. Okay, so we're going to see how we can use jQuery to work, and some of the code that we've been coding, jQuery will make them even easier and shorter. Okay, so I'm not really going to go into the jQuery coding for now. We're just going to use jQuery to make HRC requests. Then maybe in our subsequent classes, we're going to see how we can use jQuery to. Okay, we'll see some of them actually. Okay, so let's go to jQuery websites, jQuery download. We're not going to use CDN. We're going to download jQuery so that even when we are offline, you can have access to it. Okay, so this is jQuery official website. Then you simply go to download. Okay, we're already on download. Uh, you can download any of this version. Okay, the compressed production, uncompressed development. Okay, so anyone who use will go. What I'll just do, I'll download the uncompressed for development purpose. So which is this. So what I'll simply do is just to save it into my documents. Okay, so go to my documents, which docs. We're working on the web class. Then on the web class, I open my JS. Let's save it from JS. Okay, so this this saving with both uh, the version numbers. Okay, if I want to remove the version number, I can do that. But let's just leave it. Okay, okay, I just saved it. Okay, so now that it's saved, just saving. When you click on this, when you click on this, it will open it. Okay, so you just save it to wherever you saving it to. Okay, you can save it to your downloads, copy it to your folder, or you save it into your folder directly. And what I just did now, I save it directly into my folder. Okay, so now if we come to our folder on the JS folder, you see we have jQuery here. Okay, so what we simply do is for us to work with jQuery, because like I said, the JavaScript library will have to include it. Okay, include, not include like PHP. You know, when we are including the JavaScript file, we use the script folder, the script element rather. Okay, so now we are inside the user template. Okay, so here, if we're using it only here, I can just do it. Okay, here. Okay, so what I'll simply do is I'll put it on top. Now, another thing again is, all our JavaScript, we normally put them at the bottom. Why would this jQuery come at the top? Because the jQuery is a library that we might want to use in one place or the other. Okay, so it's supposed to come on the head part so that before the page will load, it will first of all load the library so that it will be available for wherever you're using it. Okay, so I'll simply link it here, script, and just write scripts with source. So I'll simply link js like jQuery dot js, that's jQuery as in 3.6.0. That is exactly the name you can save it, okay? Dot js, okay? Now that we've gotten the jQuery on our project, now I'm going to change a lot of things here. Now this fetch users that we did, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to comment this. First of all, before I comment it, let me copy it out. Okay. So I'll just comment it. Now I'll create a new one using jQuery. Okay. So the code here will now be different. Okay. Now what we would want to do here now is this. As long as jQuery is yeah, let me off my network so that we'll do it gradually instead of the auto complete. Okay. So now I'll have a method. I'll just say dot ajax, like I've showed you before, that when we're using jQuery, we can use dot ajax like this. Also, we have the dot post. Also, we have the this dot get. Okay. Now, all these are ajax requests in jQuery. Okay. Now, when we want to specify using post, the dollar sign represent jQuery. Okay. Now, but apart from that, okay, using jQuery for Ajax requests. Okay. Okay. So now in jQuery, they also use the dollar sign for declaring variable, just like a PHP. Okay. But when I do this uh, dollar dot Ajax, this dollar here represents jQuery because if I say jQuery now, for instance, okay, dot ajax, it will work the same way. Yes. Okay. So this jQuery here is the same thing as this dollar sign. But what if we're working with it most times, we just use dollar sign for short. Okay. And it's different from declaring variable because if I want to declare variable, as I want to declare variable A, I'll say dollar A equals maybe something, just like your PHP. Okay. So, for jQuery to be easy for you, excuse me, please. Okay. So this is how you also uh, you declare variable just like you declare variable in PHP. This is how you declare variable in jQuery. Yeah, using jQuery. As long as jQuery is connected, you just say dollar variable name. Okay. Now I just assign 45 to it. Just like your PHP or Java, anything you assign to the variable determine the data type of the variable. Okay. So that just that. Okay. Then another thing again now we have to teach you is making reference to your elements, your HTML elements while using jQuery. Just like when you are using your vanilla JavaScript, you either use the document or get element ID or document or query selector, document or get element class name and what have you. Okay. So we'll have to know that. But for now, let's just check the ajax request. Okay. Now ajax request, like I told you that we have the method for we have the method for get, we have the method for post, we have the method for put. The HTTP request is the question. We have put, we have delete. Okay. But in ajax request, they have a different method for post, different method for get, and they have another method as ajax. Okay. Now, if you want to do a post request, you can use this post method. Okay. If you want to use a get request, you can use this get method. Okay. But if you want to uh, uh, make it more flexible, you can simply use this ajax method, because on this ajax method, you can use whether post, whether get, whether put, whether delete, any of the method, any of the existing method, you can put them inside. No, small letter. Okay. So now, inside the ajax method, let's use the ajax. Maybe subsequently, we are going to use the post or the get pattern. Okay. But let's just use this ajax method now. Inside the ajax method, you're going to have an object on it. Now, the object that is inside will accept different keys. Okay. Will accept different keys. Now, one of the keys is the type. Okay. Now, the type, you have to specify which method and the type of method and HTTP request method that you're using. Whether it's a get method, or it's a post method, or it's a put method, or it's even a delete method. Okay. So let's say we are using a post method here. Okay. Now, if we're using a post method here, uh, let's check what we did before. Okay, here we are using get. Here's a get method, right? So let's just put it. Let's say it's a get method. Okay. Now, the next thing is the URL. We have to define what is the URL to what we need. Okay. So the URL, we pass the URL into it in form of string. Okay. So let me just take this URL out. Okay. And put it. So what we are simply doing here is we are replicating exactly what we did with the fetch method inside the ajax method. Okay. So this is our URL. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to find out here is uh, another key called the sources, which is usually a callback function. That is, if the request was successful, okay, what is the response? So we create a function here, and the function will have the response on it. Okay, and the function will have the response on it. Okay. So the response, let's just log this response and see what it gives to us. Okay. So if I log this response here now if you refresh our page, refresh our page, okay, now go to our portfolio log, see that we have the response. But one problem we have here now is response is in form of plain text. Excuse me. Okay. So you see that one issue we have here now is response and plain text. You know what we did in the first one? What we did in the first one is response we converted into text. Okay? Now how do we do that here? You simply need to add a key to it called the data type. So in this data type, you can specify how you need the response. If you want it in plain text, okay? If you want it, sorry, plain text, okay? Specify it there. If you want it in the HTML format, specify it there. If you want it in JSON, specify it here. Okay? So anyone you specify here, that is how response come. automatically it has converted the whole thing for us. Okay, so what we actually need. Okay, so what we simply do now is here, so we call it reference here. Okay, so we can simply copy this entire thing that we did here. Okay, then we copy this whole thing and place it inside. Okay, so when I place it here, comment this. Okay, so we have the same results. So you see that jQuery automatically within the library you can do a lot of things that we have done. Okay, so just copy the whole thing. We already have the code, so just copy it inside the success method. Okay, everything. So now this is not even the problem. The problem is sending data with the request. You won't be able to handle that. So let's go and change that to. Okay, so that's what was done on the modal component, right? So on the modal, that is where we did that. Okay, so I'm also going to comment this guy. Okay, I'm also going to comment this guy. Should I leave this here? You know what we did here is we added an event listener to the submit of this form user. Okay, we added an event listener to it. Then what we did was on click of on submit of the form, we did the ajax request here. Okay, so we got the data, the form data, then streakified them, then sent them to our backend to be saved. Okay, now you know, if you remember, we also had an issue when we're designing the what's it called, the modal. Now, trying to add an event to that form. You know, that is why we have to put it on this open method. That is, when the modal is open, that is where we now add the event and all of this. Okay? And I told you that with jQuery, it would have been easier. Okay, but something is telling me not to touch this code, to do something else so that we still have this code here. Okay, so what we will do now is this. Let's manage something else. Okay, let's manage something else. What can we manage? Let's say let's say we manage someone. Okay, let's manage feedback. Now let's assume we have a contact us form. Okay, let's say contact us.php. Okay, now what I'll do, let me copy from this template. Okay, so into the contact us. Okay, now but the major thing is, let me change the design. Okay, so let's assume we have contact us. Web class contact.php. Okay, let's say we have this contact us. Okay. Now let me just design something very simple on it. Okay, I will assume this is our contact form. Okay, so let's say we have a header. Sorry, have a header. Oh, we have a header. Now on the header, let's say okay, let's say on the header you have a number. First and foremost, let me just do this. Let's say BG blue 900. Let's say height of uh, 300. Okay, so here I have, don't mind me, yeah, 96 is even too much. Okay, let's say 54. If we have, they have 40, right? Yeah, since it's height, even if I didn't have anything, it's supposed to show. Okay, so let's say uh, we might have a number on it. Might design it later, but for now, let's just go with okay. We have a div that have a maximum width of 7xl and a margin x of auto. Okay. Now inside this div, we now have another div that have a padding x of 4 and a padding y of 3. Okay. Now inside here, let's say we have a div that have that is a grid. Okay, have a grid system. Then on the grid, we have grid. It's a grid of column. Let's say columns of let's say 6. Okay, 6 columns. Then okay, 6 columns from empty. Let me do something here in terms of mobile responsiveness. I would say originally have 1 column, but from empty, let the columns be 6. Okay. Now inside these 6 columns, I'm going to have one div that have column span of 4 times 2. Okay. And for this one, it span 2. Okay. And both of them will be empty, empty. Okay. So what this means is on empty, since the parent is this one will take 4. Okay, that's what it is. Okay. Now on this one that will take 2, I'll just copy the form on it. Okay, so let's copy this form and edit it. So I'll copy this form here. So on the form, we have the full name, we have the email address, then we can have the phone number, then we can have the subject. Okay, let's say message here. Okay, message. Then somewhere somewhere here you can have the subject of the message you're trying to send across. Okay, let me use they are as the icon here. I don't know if it's correct, but let's check. Then we don't need an avatar. Okay. So we have, let me use the paper plane here as the icon. Then we say send message. Okay. So let's see how it is. So we have a form. Okay. So let's say this is a contact us form. Okay. So we send a message to the administrator. Okay. Now on the administrator, we now have to manage the message that I sent by our customer. Understand? Like this form is normally for a customer to send a message that okay, please, oh, I'm using your service. Please, I need something from you. Okay. Then the administrator will now see the message. Okay. The administrator will now see the message here and reply the message. Okay. So uh so in our contact form here now, we're going to employ the services of jQuery. Okay. So I think this is where we use the jQuery. So let's make just copy this and paste it here. Okay. So we connect our jQuery to our contact form too. Okay. Now this time around, what we're going to do is our form. We're going to give our form another ID. Okay. Let's call it form contacts. Okay. So now, if we call this from contacts, uh, okay, every other thing have ID except for this message. We have to change it to MSG or message info. Okay, let's say message, or let me call it in short MSG. Okay, so that is it. So what we're going to do next is to submit this form using jQuery.